Welcome to this morning prayer. I'm so glad you're here. Today, I invite you to open your heart for an honest and transformative conversation with God. It doesn't matter how you woke up today. It doesn't matter the weight you are carrying or the doubts that have followed you. Today is a new day, a new beginning, and God is here ready to listen to every word that rises from your soul. Before we begin, I invite you to leave your prayer request or a word that represents what you need most at this moment in the comments below. Write without fear, because every intention, every plea, every cry will be welcomed in the presence of the Father, who cares with tenderness and love for every heart. And today, this prayer is born from the profound meaning revealed to us in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3. This is a prayer for those who need to find their way again, for those who feel weary from the daily struggles, for those who have faced disappointments, endured losses, carry wounds both old and new, and yet still long for strength to move forward. It's a prayer for you, for anyone who might have tried to control everything with their own understanding, only to realize that there are moments in life when things slip beyond our reach, and the only true answer is to trust God with all your heart, without holding back, without limits, and without fear. Lord God, as this new morning begins, I place myself before you with an open heart, with a soul thirsty for your peace, your guidance, and your love. I know that many times throughout my life, I have tried to understand everything with my own reasoning. I searched for answers through my human eyes. I leaned on my own strength. I walked by my own steps. But today, as I hear your word and feel touched by this divine invitation that echoes through Proverbs 3, I choose to trust in you with all my heart, without hesitation, without doubt, without fear. I surrender my need to control everything, and I throw myself into your arms, knowing that there I will be safe. My God, I ask that your presence fill every corner of the mind and heart of the person who is praying with me right now. May this person, whether man or woman, feel surrounded by your loving care and realize that you are the one who makes paths straight, who transforms crooked roads into smooth highways, and who lights up the darkest places with the brilliance of your love. My Father, for every painful question, for every paralyzing uncertainty, I now call upon your peace, the peace that surpasses all understanding and calms the restless soul. Lord, teach us to acknowledge you in all our ways. So often the human heart is taken over by pride, by vanity, by this illusion of self-sufficiency that the world tries to impose on us. But today, with humility and truth, we confess that without you, we are nothing. Without your guidance, life loses its meaning. Teach us to seek you not only in times of pain, but with every sunrise, in every step, in every decision. Open the eyes of those who are praying now, so they may recognize that you are present in both the little and the great things, in the small details of daily life, and in the overwhelming challenges that arise. My God, may the reverence for your name be the beginning of wisdom in our lives, not a fear rooted in dread, but a reverence full of awe, recognition, and surrender. May your love inspire our thoughts. May your will become our deepest desire. May your way become our chosen path. Keep us away from evil, Lord. Remove the pride that blinds us, the arrogance that destroys us, and the selfishness that isolates us. Deliver every heart that now opens itself in prayer from the enemy's traps, from temptations that weaken the soul, and from wrong choices that lead us away from your purpose. O God of mercy, may your wisdom be life to our bodies and healing to our bones. You know, Father, every physical pain, every silent illness, every hidden suffering that human eyes cannot always see. You witness the tears that fall when no one else is looking. You hear the prayers whispered in the stillness of the night. That's why, Lord, I ask you to touch each person right now who is in need of healing, relief, and strength. May your arms of love be the invisible yet real support for those who feel like they can't go on any longer. Beloved Father, teach us also to honor you with everything we have and everything we are. May we recognize that every gift, every talent, and every achievement does not come solely from our own efforts, but is the fruit of your grace and favor. May each person praying now cultivate a generous heart, ready to give to those in need, to live the true abundance that is born from giving and sharing. And as your word promises, may the barns be filled to overflowing and the wine vats burst with new wine, not only with material blessings, but with overflowing joy, peace, and gratitude. Lord, may we be happy not for what we possess, but for finding the wisdom that comes from you, a wisdom that guides us in the bad days, that comforts us in the time of waiting, that strengthens us when human strength is no longer enough. Give us this deep understanding, this vision beyond appearances, this peace that only those who walk with you know. May each person praying now understand that wisdom is more precious than any wealth, and that nothing in this world compares to the value of living in communion with you. O faithful God, may the paths of wisdom also be our paths, paths of delights, paths of peace, paths of hope, even when the world offers uncertainty and storms. May we embrace this wisdom as one who finds a tree of life, and may this embrace be our refuge, our fortress, our sustenance in the midst of difficult days. May we be happy, not because of circumstances, but because our hearts are rooted in you. Lord, you who, with an incomprehensible gesture of love, shaped the earth with your wisdom and raised the heavens with your perfect intelligence, we surrender before your greatness, not as those who merely observe distant wonders, but as those who discover that their very hearts were made by your careful hands. When I look at the sky and see the stars silently dancing, when I contemplate the horizon that stretches endlessly, I realize that everything within me cries out to you, because nothing that exists is a result of chance, but of your sovereign will, your divine art, your unwavering creative love. If the entire universe stands because you sustain it, then my heart, so fragile and small before the immensity, can also find rest in you, because nothing escapes you, nothing surprises you, and no one who surrenders to your care is left helpless. God, when I think that your knowledge is capable of breaking through the deepest abysses and making the clouds pour dew upon the dry earth, I realize that my weary soul can also be watered by your living presence. Just as the silent dew descends upon the ground and prepares it to bloom again, I ask you to come, without haste and without fanfare, to touch every broken heart, every overwhelmed mind, every life that no longer finds the strength to rise. May your presence be like this faithful dew that comes every morning even when we do not see it, that renews in silence, that heals in secret, that sustains the invisible until life blossoms once more. May each dawn remind us that yesterday does not imprison us, that your love does not grow tired, and that a new beginning is a gift that never runs out. Dear Father, may your goodness and your faithfulness be more than a reminder to us. May they be like a seal engraved in our souls, like a light that guides us in every decision, like a constant embrace that transforms us. Teach us, Lord, to be those who reflect your goodness not just in beautiful words, but in sincere, discreet actions that touch lives without expecting applause. May we be faithful not out of obligation, but because we love you, because we understand that faithfulness is living in a whole, honest, and surrendered way to your paths. May our lives become fertile ground where your goodness grows and blossoms without limits, so that, as we cross the paths of others, we may be like shade on hot days, like a smile in times of pain, like a living hope in times of mourning. Beloved, Lord, may the favor we seek so much in this world not be the result of masks or forced smiles, but of a heart that has found its true worth in you. May each person who crosses our path be able to see, beyond appearances, your light reflected in us. May our words carry truth. May our gestures express compassion. And may, even in the midst of storms, we keep our eyes fixed on you, trusting that your gaze remains upon us. Do not allow us to forget, not even for an instant, that your presence never leaves your children, and that your love pursues us faithfully, even when our vision is blurred by tears and the road seems endless. Father, when your correction comes to meet us, help us not to harden our hearts. Teach us to recognize in your pruning hands the same love that also plants and cultivates. May our pride surrender, may our resistance break, and may your discipline shape us with both firmness and tenderness. For only a loving Father corrects, only those who love care enough not to let mistakes grow like roots that poison. And even if tears run down our faces, even if the pain of correction seems incomprehensible, may we hear in the depth of our souls your voice saying, "I correct you because I love you, and what I am preparing for you is greater than what you can understand today." May each tear be a seed of growth, and each wound an open door to a more mature, solid, and true love. God, when fear seeks to take residence, when dread comes sneaky, trying to extinguish our hope, may your love rise up as a shield around our hearts. May we remember that your hand holds firm every detail of our day, that your gaze never closes, and that no shadow, no matter how dark, can extinguish your light. When the world falls apart without warning, when the news is too harsh, when the ground seems to give way beneath our feet, may your name be our refuge, our fortress, our unshakable security. Today, we surrender to you all our fears, those we confess aloud and those we hide even from ourselves. Take every anxiety into your hands and teach us to rest, not in human certainties, but in the serene trust of one who knows that you take care of every detail. My God, teach us to recognize the value of every life, every story, every person who walks beside us. Do not allow our hearts to grow cold before the pain of others. May our eyes not close to those who ask for help. May our hands not remain crossed when we could extend them. May your compassion move us. May your generosity transform us. May your love push us beyond complacency, so that we may do good without measuring, without calculating, without expecting return. May we be instruments of your love in simple gestures, for sometimes the good someone needs is a look, is a listening ear, is a hug, is a word of hope spoken at the right moment. Teach us to be light that warms, not that burns, presence that comforts, not that judges, love that embraces, not that distances. Lord, may our lives walk side by side with you, not out of fear of making mistakes, but out of love for your presence. May the friendship you offer be the most valuable treasure of our existence. May we trust in you with such pure sincerity that there is no room for masks, disguises, or false paths. May our lives be transparent in your eyes, and may, with each dawn, our first desire be to hear your voice, feel your care, live your purpose. May this friendship you offer not be just a distant concept, but a real, present daily bond. The certainty that no matter what happens, you always walk by our side. May your love be the house we live in, the shelter where we rest, and the north that guides every step of our journey. Lord, in this morning that rises before us, we want to start the day remembering that your love is more faithful than the sun that rises, and that your care is more constant than the air we breathe. When the world tries to convince us that we are alone, when the voices of fear and doubt echo loudly in our thoughts, may your voice be soft yet firm, saying that you are the God who never abandons, who does not give up, who does not turn away, even when we fail, even when our faith seems small and fragile. May this morning, every restless heart find rest in you, every tired mind find relief in your word, and every life that prays now discover that there is a God who remains when everything else passes. Father, along the path of this life, we are often tempted to trust only in our own eyes, to depend on what we think we know, to believe that on our own we can handle everything. But your word calls us to something greater, to trust in you with all our heart and not lean on our own understanding. And it is so difficult, Lord, when what we see seems more real than what we believe, when human logic rises like a wall before faith. That is why in this prayer we ask you, teach us to recognize you in every detail, in every choice, in every decision, so that your Spirit may guide us along the straight paths, even when our feet desire shortcuts. May we see beyond the circumstances and believe that Even in the quietest days, you are working, straightening our paths, preparing what our eyes cannot yet see. Beloved God, when anxiety tries to take over our hearts, when uncertainties weigh on our shoulders and fatigue drains our souls, may we remember that trusting in you is not closing our eyes to reality, but opening our hearts to the hope that comes from above. Even when our steps are slow, even when the ground feels unstable, may we hold firmly to your promises, knowing that those who seek you with all their heart will never be confused, never be left to their own fate. May our trust be stronger than fear, deeper than doubt, more persistent than the difficulties that arise along the way. Lord, your word also teaches us not to be wise in our own eyes, and how easy it is to fall into the trap of self-sufficiency, thinking that we know everything, that we can do everything, that we control everything. But today, in this sincere prayer, we humbly ask you, empty us of all arrogance, all pretension, all pride disguised as self-confidence. Teach us to depend on you in every breath, in every choice, in every step. May the fear of your name be the foundation of our wisdom. May respect for your will be the guide for our decisions. And may, as we turn away from evil, we find the peace that only exists in those who surrender completely to your care. Father, your word promises that the fear of the Lord is life for our body and refreshment for our bones, and how much we need that refreshment, Lord. When strength is exhausted, when the weight of life becomes unbearable, when the heart is filled with anguish and the body feels the burden of battles, may your Spirit come to renew, restore, and strengthen. May your presence be the relief our souls seek. May your love be the medicine that heals the wounds the world insists on opening. May your peace be the rest that refreshes every part of us. Lord, pour upon us this refreshment that cannot be bought, this strength that never runs out, this life that only your love can offer. God, teach us to honor you with what we have, with what we are, with what we have built. May our work, our resources, our talents, and our gifts not be for ourselves alone, but to glorify your name and bless lives around us. May we recognize that everything that comes into our hands is from you, and that nothing we possess is merely the result of our effort, but of your goodness and provision. Teach us to give with gratitude, to share with generosity, to live with simplicity, knowing that true wealth is not in what we accumulate, but in what we sow in love, in faith, in kindness. Lord, your word says that the barns will be filled and the vats will overflow when we honor you. And we know that this abundance is not limited to material things, but overflows in peace, joy, hope, and love. May our hearts be more grateful than greedy. May our eyes see beyond the wealth that rusts. May our souls be content with your presence more than with any earthly treasure. May our greatest abundance always be your love, your grace, and your friendship, for nothing compares to the privilege of walking with you. Beloved Father, blessed is the person who finds wisdom and acquires understanding, and how deep this invitation is. We do not want to merely gather information, accumulate fleeting knowledge, or impress with beautiful words. We want wisdom that transforms, understanding that calms, discernment that brings us closer to you. May each new day be an opportunity to learn to be more patient, more generous, more truthful, more human, more like you. May the wisdom we seek not be arrogant but humble, not be vain but discreet, not be cold but full of compassion. May it be light for our steps and comfort for those who cross our path. Lord, your word reminds us that wisdom is more precious than rubies, and all that we could desire does not compare to it. Help us seek what money cannot buy, what time cannot steal, what circumstances cannot erase. May our greatest desire not be to have, but to be someone who lives to love, who walks to serve, who breathes to spread hope. That even in losses, in crises, in farewells, we may recognize the value of the wisdom that comes from you, the wisdom that teaches us to start over when everything falls apart, to forgive when everything hurts, to trust when everything seems uncertain. Father of goodness, your word reveals to us that the paths of wisdom are paths of delight, and all its ways are peace. And how we long for that peace, Lord. not a fragile peace that depends on circumstances, but one that invades the heart and silences the chaos, even when the world insists on falling apart around us. May every step we take today, no matter how simple, be guided by your wisdom, so that we are not led by impulse, fear, pride, or haste, but by the certainty that you are the one who straightens our paths and plants peace where there was once only restlessness. And that, at the end of this day, we may look back and realize that every decision made with wisdom not only built a good day, but a life that honors you, a journey that inspires, a testimony that consoles. May each morning be an invitation to seek you, each afternoon an opportunity to listen to you, and each night a time to thank you. May every dawn remind us that as long as we breathe, you are with us, sustaining, guiding, teaching, and loving. So be it, Lord. Amen. May this morning prayer inspired by Proverbs 3 continue echoing in your heart throughout the day, reminding you that true wisdom comes from absolute trust in God and not in the uncertainties of our own thoughts. May every word planted here bloom as hope, may every promise become comfort, and may every step you take be guided by the certainty that the Lord walks by your side, today, tomorrow, and always. No matter how uncertain the path is, how much the world changes, or how difficulties try to surround you, God's presence never fails. His love is constant, His faithfulness unshakable, and His care is over all who trust and surrender their lives into His hands. May this certainty fill your day with peace, courage, and the strength that comes from above. If this prayer touched your heart, share it with someone who also needs faith, hope, and comfort. Spread this light so more lives can be reached. Subscribe to the channel and follow the next prayers, because every day we will have a new soul encounter, a new embrace of God in the form of words. May you never forget the Lord is your security, your wisdom, and your refuge. May His love surround you today and every day of your life. Be at peace. Until the next prayer.